Remember me? I'm Nick Shell. You subscribed to my YouTube channel over this weekend when you saw my new trailer and saw, oh, this guy has 2,000 subscribers. I guess they can't be wrong. I should join them. If you can't beat them, join them. Nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. Now, here's how it's going to work. When people leave comments on my channel, they often grow on trees. Don't question it, just go along with it. All right, so I've got some, actually this is, we got two for the price of one. I love it when this happens. When two comments come in within the same 24-hour period and they're basically about the same thing and maybe even kind of help reinforce each other. So let's take a look at this. I want to start out with this one. Someone left a comment on my video, hair loss industry of Arabia and Russia / balding is caused by a sin. So I got a comment from someone who goes by Safi45611, and here's what they had to say. Quote, on the one hand, you say that you don't look down on other peoples, but then you get a letter from a Russian and believe the crap he is saying about a totally foreign culture. I've lived in the Middle East for 22 years, and believe me, I've never heard such nonsense in my life. Next time you get a letter from a complete stranger, at least do the bare minimum of research before spreading a stranger's lies on your channel. Okay, well, let's address that because we definitely need to talk about this, and then we'll get to the other one. But you're going to see a common theme in these two. So here's what it's important to know about this channel. This is not a channel about checking facts. This is not about facts. This is about opinions, and really more than anything, it's about psychology. This is a psychology channel that addresses the roots of why hair loss bothers us. Okay? So if I've got a stranger, which everyone's a stranger, I don't know anyone subscribing to my channel unless they only subscribe because they know me, not because they're particularly worried about hair loss. So pretty much anyone who leaves a comment is going to be a stranger, because if they weren't, then they would tell me in person. But so we have this guy, the stranger from Russia or whatever, left a comment. What I did is I took that comment at face value. It's not my place to determine whether his view of reality is reality. It's my job as a YouTuber to help him sort out his version of reality. And in his reality, he says that people in the Middle East think that balding is caused by a sin. I don't care whether it's true or not for most people. What I care about is for him, he might be led to believe that because people around him in his part of the Middle East believe that. Okay? It's all a matter of perception. That's his reality. So what I don't care is whether Middle Eastern people think balding is a sin. I don't care. But to that one guy, it was true, or he was saying it was true, so I addressed it as it was truth. Okay, so that's all this is about. It's about your perception of reality is reality, and when I respond to you, I'm responding to your version of reality. Let's build on top of that, though, a little bit. We got the other comment, the 2-for-1 here, and it's, if I got a buzz cut from my receding hairline, would it help or hurt my channel? That's a video I did this weekend while I was in the car when my daughter was asleep. And here's a comment I got from Brian Cromarty. Quote, I like how Nick has built this channel around losing his hair young, in quotations, but he probably has a fairly average hairline for his age. Nick Shell, I just find it funny because you look like an average 30-something-year-old dad. Most people your age wouldn't even care about losing their hair. Nick Shell, and I know you don't care, but everyone is watching because they feel like you know their pain, end quote. I know you can't see it, but I'm not too far from the Nashville airport, so when you hear that, that's what it is. Just want to make sure you feel comfortable with what's going on this channel. All right, so I responded back. I let him know. I said, look, I know that there's definitely irony involved, but at the end of the day, I'm helping a good percentage of my 2,000 subscribers overcome their hair loss. They're willing to overlook the irony in it. I'm 36, by the way. Trust me, I've never thought I'd have this much hair at my age. So again, it goes back to the individual's perception and their hair loss is what it comes down to. you know, some people can't ever get help from me because they can't see past the hair that I still have, which is funny because there's a trend that happens. And I know that people who've been here a while with me, like Robert, have seen this trend. When I have longer hair and I disguise my hairline, I have younger people say, who are you to tell about hair loss? You don't know anything about hair loss. You've still got most of your hair and you're 36. But when I have shorter hair, I have people say, oh, you should shave it off. You should buzz it off. Your hair looks awful. So it's funny how I can see that trend in the comments that I receive, okay? But here's the takeaway from this particular video. Here's what I want to remind everyone of. Your perception of your hair loss is your reality. And that's one of the fundamental things we talk about in this channel. Ultimately, I've never quite worded it that way. Your perception of your hair loss is your reality. Who cares actual reality? But imagine me. How do I spend it's funny, I'm spending almost just as much time emailing people back as I am making videos now. Because so many people will say, hey Nick, I've been watching your channel for a while. Will you take a look at my hairline? I'm going bald and I'm only 16. And then I get the picture and maybe I see a little bit of receding right here into the Norwood 1 category, but that's it. In his reality, he's going bald and all of his friends are not. And then I bring him back to reality and say, actually, no, you're not going bald and you're gonna be fine. And probably you have more hair at your age than I did at mine, kind of thing. But so many subscribers I have think that they're a lot balder than they are, and they think they're gonna go bald a lot sooner than they are. And that's their version of reality. So they're stuck in this nightmare world where they're about to go bald and everyone's judging them on how bald they are, when really they don't even notice that. They're being judged on all kinds of other things instead. So as long as your reality, that's the cool thing about it, that you can actually change your reality. Once you start realizing that it's not all about hair loss, it's about all these other things instead, then you can actually overcome it and you can flip the breaker switch. But see, and that's why I said this weekend, I said there's 5 traits I'm seeing of people who will never overcome their hair loss. And people who continue to stay in that reality where, for one, that their hair loss is really as bad as they think it is, yeah, they'll never overcome it. It's all a matter of perception. If you leave a comment on my channel, I'm going to take it at face value because that's your reality, okay? It doesn't have to be actual reality. And that's so much of what holds us back in life, is that everything's actually fine, but because we put these own limitations on us, our perception of reality starts getting really dark. And even when we hear the truth from someone, we don't quite hear it because it's a muddled perception. It's just growing darker and darker and darker, darker.